What's up, everybody? ArrgThePirate here, and today we're going to play a little Cupid in that ADC role. Now, this is a very off-the-wall game, but that's quite alright. Let's get into the build. Now, for my starting items, I have Purification Beads, Chalice of Healing, I work into Warrior's Tabby, or just Boots, and then I have the Assassin's Blessing, which I picked that up on accident. You should definitely start out with the ADC starter item, guys. Now, the build I'm going for is Warrior Tabby, Poison Star, Wind Demon, Malice, Deathbringer, and then I'm going to swap out my Blessing for Quinn Size. And then I also have Potion of Physical Might and Elixir of Power for that late game type build whenever, you really want to start cranking out that damage. But that's really my kind of build that I'm going for. I really like Cupid, but his kit seems very lacking, and I think picking up a ton of attack speed as well as some crit is absolutely huge with Cupid. Now, let's briefly go over his abilities. First off, we have Cupid's passive, and his passive is every basic attack gives a heart stack, which you can see those above my faceplate, and that increases the damage or healing of Cupid's abilities. And at max stacks, you actually get 2% more, so, it's decent to keep basic attacking things. Next up, we have Heart Bomb. Now, Cupid fires an arrow at a single target. After a short time, the target explodes, dealing damage to the area and all enemies within that area. And if you have max heart stacks, you actually stun all enemies for 1 second, which having a stun on an ADC is always great. Cupid's number 2 is Share the Love. Now, you place 3 floating hearts, and in this skin's case, they're little potion vials. And when you pick those up, it gives you a little bit of health back. But if an ally picks them up, it actually gives Cupid mana back. So it's awesome sustain mechanic. You can use this ability to kind of replenish your mana. Number 3 is Flutter. Now, it has a passive where it gives you attack speed, but the big thing is it's a dash forward, and it leaves a trail on the ground that if your allies walk over that trail, they get increased movement speed as well. Lastly, we have Fields of Love. Now, this is a giant AoE circle that slows and mesmerizes enemies, but it makes them where they cannot use abilities that, like dashes, things like that. And if you have max hearts when you use your ultimate, the mesmerized duration is doubled. Now, if you do any damage while an enemy's mesmerized, of course it takes them out of that. And mesmerize is just kind of like a sort of a stun, it keeps them from doing a whole lot. So, hey, his ultimate's great, but it's not just that huge damage deal, boom, they're, taking a ton of damage. It does take time to actually get that damage out. Alright, enough about Cupid, let's get into this gameplay. Now, I'm gonna head over to this duo lane trying to get a gank, and I end up missing that stun. Oh, we could have taken out Loki if I wouldn't have missed that. Thanatos ended up diving in to hopefully secure that kill too. Feels bad, man. But, hey, is what it is. We're gonna head to our solo lane, or our duo lane rather, and just kind of clean this up. And you can see I am out of mana, so if I got enough mana to actually get my 2 off and Thanatos were to grab those little hearts, it would fill my mana pool back up, which is exactly what I need. And you see here, I throw them down, but Thanatos just doesn't go for them. And, hey, is what it is. Guys, really, if you're playing with a Cupid, pick up those potions. Not only do they heal you, but they help his kid out as well, and that's absolutely huge. Now, since I am out of mana, I'm just going to go ahead and back off. We go ahead and finish our boots up, and, these boots, a ton of power, ton of movement speed. That's really what I'm going for with Cupid. I want attack speed and a ton of power, and you can see that with this build that I'm using. And we're going to head over to this duo lane, hopefully get a nice little gank. We're able to do quite a bit of damage with that stun to Loki, but, Loki's kind of tough to deal with. We're going to go ahead and end up ulting, and then we take out both their Raw and their Loki. Oh, it feels awesome. Great double kill. Hey, maybe Thanatos isn't such a bad support after all. And we're just going to keep pushing. Now, again, we go ahead and throw those vials out, but Thanatos just isn't picking them up. And, it's unfortunate, guys. really knowing the different kits and things like that of all the different heroes is very tough. Especially, you know, if you kind of find a hero that you really enjoy, you know, you don't really research what everybody else's does. And since my vials rely on me, or rely on my teammates picking them up, you know, it can make it difficult to sustain. But hopefully, you know, we can shed some light on them. We'll get some people picking up these vials. Now, this is a very off-the-wall match, like I said. We've got 2 assassins, 2 ADCs, and a solo laner, you know, or a warrior. And, you know, it's just very strange. So we don't have really that front line, you know, that frontline guardian, and we don't really have a mid laner either. You know, not having a caster is pretty big as well. Now, Hebo is over here, and guys, that guy hurts, man. He's got such short range on everything. That's the only thing that's the only way I can deal with him. But hey, we end up actually securing a kill onto him, and then we're gonna chase down the serpent lady. We end up taking her out as well, or the serpent girl, I guess. I don't know her name, but we end up taking her out as well. And guys, one thing about Cupid is, you know, he does have a pretty cool kit, but most of his stuff is done just through basic attacks. You know, not like some of the other ADCs, or most of the other ADCs, you know, you have a lot more in your kit than just basic attacks. But with Cupid, you know, everything revolves around you just constantly basic attacking. You know, getting those hearts up. That way your heals, your abilities, everything hits harder when you have those hearts up. And so it's more like basic attacking is better. And that, again, that's really why I'm going for that attack speed. And then we'll start throwing on that crit later. Now, I did push that lane, and I can see that, you know, the Serpent Girl showed back up, so I'm going to dip out, and then I'm cutting through the jungle. Hebo's right behind me. Oh, I got to get out of here. I'm going to try to head over to my lane. I made a very poor choice right here, and went this way. Loki's, I should have went behind my tower, and I might have been able to get under tower and, you know, save my life, but I made a very poor choice there, and you can see I get instantly deleted. Now, the enemy team, instead of getting those couple of kills and then backing out, they actually stayed in that fight, which that's going to be the death of them. And you can see, guys, once you get a kill, just get out. We end up deleting this Loki, and then Knife Finger Lady, she ends up actually chasing the enemy mage, who was pretty low. But, you know, right now, I'd rather just not chase, and you can see I'm going to end up picking up the red again. And then I'm just going to start laning. You know, I think, even though this match does turn out to be successful, I think this is a very good match to show off that kills do not win games. You can see here, we're not doing just absolutely amazing in the tower game, even though we have double the enemy kills. And it kind of lasts the same way through this entire match. We win the kill game, but, you know, the tower game, it actually at one point, they almost pulled it off. And, you know, guys, it just like in Paragon, kills do not win games. It's much better to go for, you know, play that objective. Of course, pick up the kills when you can, but don't just ridiculously chase kills. Now, Loki does head in, and with our Thanatos here, we're going to delete this guy. Sure enough, we take him out, no problem at all. And, you know, one thing about Loki, guys, he cranks out damage. But if you can avoid his ultimate, or, you know, trinket it or whatever, or relic it, I guess. If you can do that, Loki's just so easy to take out. If he doesn't have his invisibility, you can just absolutely delete him. And now Raw's staying in. We get a stun on him. I was thinking about diving him there, but probably not the best choice. We're just kind of waiting for him to poke out. Hebo shows up and deletes me, guys. Oh, man. Oh, we're starting to make bad choices, bad mistakes, and, you know, we're letting these kills get ahead of us, you know, but, hey, no problem. We're still even. We're still 3-2, so I don't feel too horrible, but, you know, yeah, we're definitely pushing when we shouldn't be. Now, once I spawn back in, I'm actually going to just kind of head back to my lane. And, you know, I do see they're going in on our mid lane. So, you know, I head over to try to deal with that. Knife Lady was able to take that, you know, cast her out. I need to learn these names, guys. But she was able to take them out. And then, I pick up red, head over to my lane, get that lane shoving. Then, hey, it's time to pick up Gold Fury. Be proud of me, guys. I'm starting to use the commands. I'm still terrible at it, but I actually end up saying attack Gold Fury, so I'm making progress. And, you know, Thanatos comes over here, and our other ADC heads over here, so I'm thinking that, you know, hey, we're going to have some rotation. But Thanatos, I thought he was heading over, but he actually didn't. And I'm going to dip out of here, and, you know, if I would have ran in a straight line, I know I'd be dead. So I'm going to try to juke that chick out as much as possible. Thanatos is going to end up ulting her, and then I'm just going to back out. You know, it would have been nice if we would have had more of a collapse. We could have taken Gold Fury out. But, hey, is what it is. We didn't end up dying there, and luckily, you know, we were able to juke around that caster, the serpent dog chick, the girly snakes and knife finger lady. That's what I'm calling them. Now again, from here, I'm kind of looking, where do I need to go, what needs to happen. We end up heading to our duo lane, and knife finger lady uses her ult there, and I thought she was immune during her ult because she was up in the air, but I'm not exactly sure what happened. Loki ended up taking her out, which, you know, hey, that's unfortunate. I'm going to end up setting this lane or just really kind of shoving this lane. I probably should start setting lanes, but, you know, guys, I have learned pushing towers is terrible. Y'all can see from earlier in this match, me and Thanatos were pushing that tower. We both end up dying. You know, just pushing towers, you die so quickly in Smite. It's not like Paragon, where you did have a chance to get away. Burst damage is so fast in Smite that, you know, hey, once you get, you know, pushed up a little bit, once you push that lane, switch to you know, rotate. Go take a jungle buff, whatever. Now, Raw and Girly Snakes are pushing my mid lane, so, I delete Raw, guys. He's gone. And then Girly Snakes, boom, hit her with that shot, take her out, get a nice double kill. You know, man, we're starting to come online. We're starting to get fed, guys, and we're gonna really start hurting people. You know, we did end up picking up that, better, or the more expensive attack speed item at the beginning, instead of picking up that poison swirly. We ended up picking up the other one first because we just had enough money to do it. I would say picking up, I wanted to pick both these up one after another, so it didn't really matter which one came first, and I went with the one that's just a little bit better. Of course, the items, typically, the more expensive they are, the better they are. Now, from here, I'm going to head down mid lane. You know, Thanatos is in mid lane. Maybe we could get some progress. You know, Raw and Girly Snakes are here. But, hey, you know, I'm not risking it. Let's back up. I head over to my duo lane, which my duo lane, you can see there were a ton of ranged minions there. We had to take them out. And I'm going to just go ahead and shove this lane. You can see we've actually got 4 of them down at this point. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, guys. Kills don't win games. You know, we got 4 of them down. And we got 3 of us down. We could be pushing a tower or something like that, but since we stayed in those fights and we ended up just trading deaths, you know, hey, we're not winning. But we ended up doing quite a bit of damage there. I ended up backing out because if you saw, Hebo was right in the middle and it looked like he was heading towards me, so I ended up dipping out. I don't want to get caught under that tower. If we down it, great. If we don't, you know, we can always push it again later, but it's not worth me dying over. And sure enough, you know, he didn't head over there, but we probably could have got that tower. But like I said, guys, it's not that big of a deal. One more wave pushed in there, we'll be able to take that tower out. Now, after I pick up the red buff, Girly Snakes is right here in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and just ult. I get my stun off on her. We delete her, guys. We're starting to do work, you know? And I'm going to try my best to get to mid, you know, fast enough, but our other ADC ends up going down. You know, Hebo's starting to come online. You know, he's doing work as well. You know, she's really been pushing lanes a whole lot, so she's getting caught out pretty easily. And even though she does have a decent escape, you know, a lot of other heroes have, you know, catch-up mechanics as well. So you definitely have to be aware of that. Now, you can see our team, you know, we're every time we're getting a kill, we're also dying to that kill as well. And again, guys, kills don't win games. We're currently 17 kills above the team. You know, we almost have double. And the tower game, you know, we're winning the tower game. But having these constant staggered deaths, they're not really helping us in that end objective. Because, you know, yeah, the end objective is, of course, getting those towers down, taking out that Guardian, or the core, the Titan, that's it. And we're just not having that progress because, again, we're having those staggered deaths, and those staggered deaths are absolutely huge. And I would say they're even more critical in Smite than they were in Paragon. But me and Thanatos are able to shove this T2 down here in our duo lane, and we're gonna keep the pressure up on this, you know, in this duo lane, hopefully get them under the Phoenix, but we're gonna have to get out of here. You know, we might be able to poke it down a little bit, but really it's a dangerous situation, especially since their team has all spawned back in. Let's go ahead and back off. We're still down a hero, so they're currently, you know, a lot stronger than we are. Let's rotate and see if we can make something else happen. Now, I do go ahead and down this Void Camp. You know, I was hoping Thanatos would grab it, but hey, he ended up going through it. No problem at all. Now, one thing I do need to test is if you just kill the buff giver, does it respawn? You know, it wouldn't do, like, you could kill the green giant in Paragon, and the buff wouldn't spawn in until you clear the camp. I don't know if that's the case in Smite, you know, which I didn't clear that entire camp there. So, we'll maybe it did work. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and back and start throwing my crit bonuses on. Now, since we had 3,000 gold, you know, we were able to put that card on 100%, and, you know, we're going to start working towards that next one. You know, crit chance with attack speed. Oh, man, we're going to start cranking out some damage here. Now, I am looking for something to happen. Sure enough, you know, Girly Snakes is over here. We like one-shot her. Where did she go with this damage buff? Oh, man, we hurt, guys. Hebo's over here, and, you know, I'm kind of looking for him. Raw shows up. We three-shot Raw, guys. Hebo's then, you know, heads back over. We're able to take him out as well. Oh, man, triple kill, baby. And from here, let's try to make something happen. Let's keep this progress up. Let's try to down a tower. You know, we hopefully can get some split pushing going. You know, we've got a couple of people over in our solo lane. Let's keep this pressure up. You know, that's 5 heroes down. That was a full team wipe right there. We should make some big progress. You know, it might have been a great time to go for the fire giant, but, you know, let's take down a tower. Since we're not working just great as a team so far, I'd rather, or, you know, I'd hopefully like to get a single objective. Sure enough, we're able to take down this T2 here in mid, and, you know, at this point, the enemy team starts spawning back in, so, you know, it's probably not the best decision to keep pushing, but I'm going to head over to our solo lane, and maybe we can make something happen there. Unfortunately, with the team spawning back in, you know, hey, it's just not the time to do it. I'm trying to ping attack fire at Giant. You know, I'm hoping we can get some people to head over, but we just didn't quite have the collapse we needed. But there is something going in mid, so I'm going to head over, try to do the best that I can here. We end up taking out the floating girl with the shield. The names, guys. We end up taking her out, and then, you know, I'm going to try my best to catch up to Girly Snakes. Hebo's here, but, you know, hey, we just need to leave this situation. Loki shows up, and we're able to take him out, but we die for it. And, you know, we just shouldn't have been pushed up that far. We were very far out of position, and you can see the communication with our team. We're kind of engaging and then splitting off in all different directions, and it's just not the best. But hey, is what it is. You know, I can't blame others for, you know, me making a bad choice. Now, once I do spawn back in, we'll hopefully get back into lane and, you know, actually make something happen. We've kind of really got out of that laning phase. We're really into the more, you know, team fighting phase. And that's one flip that Smite has way more than Paragon ever did. We definitely have more of a, you know, once you get out of that laning phase, it's all about those team fights. And, you know, with a little bit of team collapse, we're actually able to head over to this fire giant and take him out. You know, I did leave the ring to lose aggro, and then, you know, sure enough, we're able to get that fire giant. And, you know, hey, now's the time to push lanes. Let's get lanes pushed. I'm actually just going to set this duo lane so we don't have to worry about it, and then rotate to mid and help shove mid lane. From here, we end up rotating over to the Gold Fury. Girly Snakes is going in on it, but, you know, she wasn't able to solo it. We take her out and then wrap that kill up. Now, Floating Shield Girl, I don't know what she's doing, guys. Like, I I guess she wanted to surrender and the rest of the team didn't, so she just started feeding. Guys, don't do this. Like, don't do that. Just leave the game. Like, don't make it harder on everybody else. Like, if you don't want to play anymore, just leave. Like it makes it much harder to enjoy a game when you've got a teammate just feeding like that. And, you know, it's not going to really speed up the game if your team is still not going to surrender. So, just leave. You know, walk away, go get a drink. And by the time you come back and relax and everything, the game will be over with. Now, after I get this duo lane pushing, I'm going to rotate to mid. On the way over, I end up picking up the enemy team's red buff, and then, you know, we've got this huge presence here. Guys, we hurt, but all we have to do is start landing attacks, and then we can kill people. We end up missing so much there. Floaty Shield Girl, you know, she's running down our mid lane, so I'm following her because, you know, this lane is pushed very far back. You know, our other ADC, she's kind of took over the mid lane. You know, that was the position she picked, but she's not mid laning all that much, so that lane's kind of pushing against us quite a bit. But I'm pretty sure that Shield Girl's still feeding at this point. She's not even participating really. And, you know, we're getting into team fights, but a lot of the times we're getting into staggered team fights where one person's going in and then they die, and then the other goes in and they die. You know, it's not working out the way it needs to, but hey, is what it is. We're gonna head over to the snake girl, and you know, girly snakes. We melt her. We melt her, guys. The damage. But we're able to take her out, and hopefully we can get this lane pushing. We still have the fire giant buff for, you know, a little bit longer, so hopefully we can get a Phoenix down. You know, this is a huge advantage, and it would be very nice to get, you know, one of these kind of in-game objectives. Now, we all kind of stack up in mid, so we should be able to make something happen, and, you know, our knife finger lady, she ends up ulting under their tower. That was just a bad ultimate, and, you know, it kind of forced our team to all be crazy out of position there. You know, like, under tower, that was just a bad position to do that. And, you know, it just, how everything, you know, Loki showed up and instantly deleted us. You know, that really, guys, try not to pick a fight under the enemy tower. You know, if they want to back into the tower and you want to die for it, that's one thing. But starting out under their tower, you know, you're going to take free damage for them, basically. And that's never really a good idea, especially if your assassins are doing that. You know, that you want your front line to do that, or your tankier heroes. You know, when you have that assassin going and doing that, they're going to be at half health before they can even do anything. And you see there, it just, that fight was so chaotic, we all just ended up going down. Really try to pick those fights outside of the enemy tower, at least. You know, us getting this staggered team wipe, that's absolutely huge. I'm going to head to mid lane, you know, once I spawn back in, try to make something happen. Thanatos ends up ulting, but, you know, the Lady Snakes ends up getting out, and, you know, it kind of burned his ultimate for nothing there, but, hey, is what it is. We just really, at this point, we need to start laning a little bit better, getting these laning objectives pushing in the right direction. Floaty Sword Girl's here. We're going to go ahead and go in on her. You know, she's doing work to Thanatos. We reposition ourselves with, you know, our 3, and we're able to delete her. You know, that, again, I don't know if she did fight Thanatos for a little bit, and it seemed like she was doing work, but, you know, at the same time, not exactly sure if she's still feeding or not, but hey, we were able to take her out nonetheless. And from here, you know, it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing? You know, we got 3 of them down. Now's the time to make a play happen. You know, and then our Loki goes in on our knife finger lady, takes her out. We're going to end up taking Loki out here, but we end up going down for it. You know, feels bad. You know, again, I'm just as bad as everybody else at this point. You know, I'm trading deaths for deaths. You know, feels bad. I should have just left that situation, but, you know, you kind of get bloodthirsty every once in a while. Now, since this match is lasting pretty long, I'm just going to cut out the spawn timer. But we end up spawning back in, then we're going to just kind of clean up a jungle camp, wait for my team to spawn back in. I don't really want to push too much, but we do have some presence. You know, Ladyfingers is going in. We end up taking out this Raw, and then, you know, her ultimate, I know what it does. You know, it grabs people and pulls them back to that point. We end up deleting girly snakes, and awesome. We're getting them on stagger deaths, but we're on stagger deaths as well. I really got to be careful of Loki, because I know he can delete me, and I'm still absolutely terrible at hitting my relics. So, I want to be careful of that. I just saw him in mid, so I'm just going to turn around, back up, and you can see we're just playing it safe. We want everybody to spawn back in. We want to get our lanes pushing. I'm going to end up taking out this damage camp. Just play it safe. Let everybody get stacked up, and then maybe we can all go in on a fight and then actually wrap this match up. But again, guys, you see, we're 66-39. Kills don't win games. Getting into those fights and then taking those objectives, that's where you really win those games. Now, our Bologna decides to go in, and, guys, again, this is the same thing. We're getting under a fight under the enemy tower when they've still got all their heroes up. It's just a bad situation. Loki shows up and deletes me. I end up actually using a relic there. I should have just got out, but I ended up staying in, and then, Girly Snakes takes me out. But really, that starting that fight where we're running to the other side of the enemy's Phoenix, that's not good. That's not what you want to see. That's bad. And I end up saying, hey, please don't push up like that. That's a bad choice. Our other ADC, she's just out pushing a lane, which, hey, yeah, at least we're making some progress, I guess. But, that was, all four of us went down for just two of them. That was definitely a very, very bad fight. Now we end up spawning back in, and, we gotta hurry, get to this mid lane, and, hopefully we can, keep them from downing our Phoenix, but they ended up grabbing it, but they die for it. So, hey, we should be able to turn this around. We got two of them down. That's absolutely huge. I'm going to go ahead and back. I got very unhealthy in that fight. I'm going to go ahead and back, especially since we're so close. And then we're going to head over, keep making these plays happen. Keep them on staggered deaths, and maybe we can coordinate as a team to actually, get some things happening. Actually end up turning around, going to our duo lane. We've got a huge team presence over in that solo lane, but our duo lane is being pushed into our Phoenix. So let's go ahead, get this lane pushing in the right direction, and I'll just rely on my team to take care of things over there. Now, at this point in the match, as the ADC, you don't want to be alone. You really want to be around your team. And with them spawning back in, I'm gonna dip out. You can see I use my 3 to, quickly get out of there. I push that lane up pretty far. My team's doing work in that solo lane, so I'm going to start pushing this duo, or this mid lane. Shield chick, she ends up going, guys, don't mess with ADC at this point. I'm gonna delete you. Sure enough, we're able to delete her. We do have to kind of maintain our mid lane since our Phoenix is down. Those fire minions do tons of damage, but we did get a team wipe there. So, of course, my team is, there's a few of us down, but, hey, we've got their whole team down. That's huge. So I'm going to end up actually going over to this duo lane. Since I said it before, it's pushed all the way up, and hopefully we'll be able to take this Phoenix out. Sure enough, we end up getting the Phoenix down. We did take a little bit, but their team started spawning back in, so instantly turn around and leave, guys. This isn't just for, ADCs. This is for everybody. Once you down an objective, turn around and leave. Go find another objective to take. Now, I'm kind of rushing through. I see Loki here. We end up getting a stun on him. We get... Once that bomb goes off, he pops out a stun, and boom! We're able to take him out. Oh, it feels good getting rid of Loki. He's my nemesis. I cannot play him, guys. I'm absolutely terrible with Loki, but he deletes me when he's on the enemy team. So it's very nice taking him out, and that's great. Getting him out of there, we end up taking 3 of their other heroes out. So again, we put them on a huge, huge fight difference. With 4 of them being down and just 1 of us being down, we should be able to take out some of these other Phoenixes and hopefully wrap this match up. Girly Snakes ends up rotating over to try to, make something happen, but guys, we delete her. Oh man, we delete her, and it feels good. Feels good taking out her, you know, I need to play her too, but, you know, she does tons and tons of damage. It's kind of this slow damage, and if you can avoid it, you know, it's fairly easy to avoid, but if you get hit by it, oh man, it's tons of work. But we end up actually shoving down to this, you know, Titan and end up taking him out to secure this victory. Feels good. This was a very strange match, but, you know, hey, we got the victory in the end, and it feels awesome. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this guide on Cupid. I really hope y'all enjoyed, even though it was a very off-the-wall match. This is a solid build for him, and I gotta say, I'm enjoying it. Well, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, add me on Smite, guys. I'd love to play with y'all, and as always, see y'all in the next video.